Welcome back to the channel, Valuable Coins HD, to another incredible video where we explore the secrets, stories, and hidden fortunes behind the coins we see every single day. You may have walked past one, spent one without thinking, or even tossed one into a jar without knowing, but what if that simple coin was hiding something extraordinary? Today, we're going to take a deep dive into the fascinating world of the 1972 Jefferson Nickel, 5 cents. A coin minted in the United States that might seem common at first glance but could potentially be worth a small fortune. Get ready, because what you're about to learn might just inspire you to search through every last nickel you own. Let's begin our journey by talking a little about the Jefferson nickel itself. Introduced in 1938, this coin replaced the Buffalo nickel and became the new face of America's 5-cent currency. Designed by Felix Schlag, the Jefferson nickel proudly features the left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the front. On the reverse, it showcases Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia estate. These two iconic images have made the Jefferson nickel one of the most easily recognized coins in American history. Fast forward to 1972, a year when millions of these nickels were minted. But, here's the kicker. Not all 1972 nickels are created equal. Most people assume that because a coin is old, it must be rare or valuable. But the truth in the numismatic world is a bit more complex. It's not just about age, it's about rarity, condition, mint marks, and most importantly, errors. Let's break it down. The Jefferson nickel from 1972 was produced at 3 major U.S. mint locations: Philadelphia, a no mint mark; Denver, with a D mint mark; San Francisco, with an S mint mark, proof coins. The majority were minted in Philadelphia and Denver for general circulation, while the San Francisco mint focused on producing high-quality proof coins meant for collectors. Now, most of these coins were used in everyday transactions. They passed through thousands of hands, were dropped on sidewalks, shoved into vending machines, and lost in couch cushions. Over time, they wore down, lost their luster, and became just another average coin. But here's where it gets interesting. Some of those 1972 Jefferson nickels, especially those struck with the wrong die, on the wrong planchet, or with striking mistakes, became accidental masterpieces. These are the rare specimens that collectors dream of finding. These are the coins that can command huge premiums on the market. One of the key things collectors look for in a 1972 nickel is full steps. Now, if you look closely at the Monticello building on the reverse side of the coin, you'll see steps leading up to the entrance. In most coins, these steps are worn or poorly struck. But in some rare high-grade examples, these steps are sharp, clean, and fully visible, all 5 or 6 lines of them. These are known as full Steps Jefferson Nickels, and they are extremely rare, especially from the early 1970s. A 1972 Jefferson nickel with full steps designation, combined with a mint state grade like MS66 or MS67, is incredibly valuable. That's because it means the coin was struck perfectly and has survived more than 50 years without damage. Imagine finding a coin like that in your pocket change, but that's not all. There are even mint error nickels from 1972 that are practically one of a kind. Some have double die obverse, where Jefferson's profile and the inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty," appear slightly doubled due to a misalignment during the striking process. Others were struck off-center, meaning the design is shifted and part of the coin is blank. There are even cases of coins struck on the wrong planchet, such as one meant for a penny or a foreign coin. Each of these errors turns a simple 5-cent coin into a potential jackpot for collectors, and those who know what to look for. Now, let's talk about coin grading. In numismatics, grading is a measure of a coin's condition. A perfect, untouched coin with no scratches, no discoloration, and perfect details is graded MS70. As you go down the scale, coins lose value based on wear and damage. A 1972 nickel in mint state 65 or above, especially with full steps or a rare error, becomes highly collectible, and that's where the treasure comes in. Picture this: a collector was organizing coins from an old family collection. They almost ignored the nickels, thinking there was nothing special about them. But one of them, a shiny 1972 D Jefferson nickel, stood out. It had sharp details, no visible wear, and most importantly, crisp full steps on the Monticello. Out of curiosity, they sent it for professional grading. The results? It came back as a MS-67 full steps, a condition so rare that only a few examples are known to exist. When this coin went up for auction, the bidding war was intense. Collectors from around the world were eager to add such a pristine example to their collection, and in the end, that one Jefferson nickel, a coin once worth only 5 cents, sold for a staggering $54,000. Yes, you heard that right. A simple coin that could have been spent on a piece of gum turned out to be a hidden treasure worth more than what many people make in a year. That's why, my friends, never overlook your change. That one nickel sitting in your coin jar could be a rare gem, especially if it's a 1972 with a mint mark, sharp details, and the right features. So go ahead, start your hunt. Check those old jars, revisit that childhood coin collection, or inspect the coins in your wallet. Who knows? Maybe you're holding the next coin worth $54,000, and if you found this video exciting, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel for more rare coin stories, and click the bell icon so you never miss a chance to discover value in the coins you already own. Share this video with your friends, family, and fellow collectors. Because the next big coin discovery might be just around the corner. Today's episode, we're taking you on a fascinating journey into the world of one of the most underrated and overlooked coins in circulation, the 1994 Jefferson Nickel. Now, before you say, it's just a 5-cent coin, stop right there. Because this video will open your eyes to the incredible and often shocking value that a common-looking nickel can hold. You might be walking around with a small fortune in your pocket, and not even know it. The Jefferson nickel, first introduced in 1938, has been a staple in American coinage for decades. Its design is iconic, the dignified portrait of Thomas Jefferson facing left on the obverse, and the elegant structure of his Monticello estate on the reverse. Though it may seem familiar and ordinary, the truth is that certain years, like 1994, carry secrets that even experienced collectors are eager to uncover. Let's rewind to 1994. A lot was happening in the world. The internet was just taking off, compact discs ruled music, and people were still using pagers. Amid all that change, the U.S. Mint continued doing what it had done for decades, striking coins for circulation. Millions upon millions of nickels were produced that year, from the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, the Denver Mint, with a D mint mark, and San Francisco Mint, with an S mint mark, for proof coins. On the surface, the 1994 Jefferson Nickel doesn't look special. Most people who glance at one wouldn't give it a second thought. But for collectors and experts who know what to look for, this coin can be an absolute goldmine. So what makes some 1994 Jefferson Nickels so incredibly valuable? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and mint errors. First, let's talk about condition. Most coins you'll find in change are worn, scratched, or tarnished. That's normal. These coins pass through countless hands, cash registers, and vending machines. But every once in a while, a coin escapes into the world in near-perfect condition. These are called mint state coins, graded on a scale from MS-60 to MS-70. The higher the grade, the better the condition, and the higher the value, but it doesn't stop there. Among those mint state coins, there's one specific feature collectors obsess over: full steps on the Monticello building. These are the horizontal steps leading up to the entrance, and in most circulated coins, they're barely visible due to weak striking or wear. But in rare examples, the steps are crisp, complete, and perfectly detailed, a condition known as full steps, FS. A 1994 nickel with full steps can dramatically increase in value, especially in higher grades like MS-66 or MS-67. Now, let's move on to the most thrilling part: mint errors. Yes, even the U.S. Mint makes mistakes. And in the world of numismatics, those mistakes are golden opportunities. Some 1994 Jefferson Nickels were struck off-center, meaning the design is shifted and part of the coin appears blank. Others were minted on the wrong planchet. For example, a nickel accidentally struck on a penny or foreign coin blank. These errors are exceptionally rare, but when they happen, they create one-of-a-kind pieces that collectors will pay top dollar to own. And then, there are the double die errors, when the coin is struck twice by the die, creating a slightly blurred or doubled image on the coin. Imagine Jefferson's face appearing twice, or the words, "In God We Trust," overlapping slightly. These varieties are highly sought after and heavily researched by collectors, but here's something even more exciting. A few 1994 Jefferson Nickels have surfaced with anomalies so rare, they've only appeared a handful of times. One such example showed doubling on the Monticello building, paired with a high-grade mint state finish and complete full steps. Another known specimen had a clipped planchet, where a portion of the coin is missing due to a misfeed in the minting process. These rare errors, when combined with pristine condition, drive their prices through the roof at auctions. Let's pause for a second and think about this. You may have dozens of 1994 nickels sitting unnoticed in your home right now. Maybe they're in a jar, a drawer, or even in your car's cup holder. You've walked past them, handed them to cashiers, or ignored them completely, but what if one of them was the rare variety collectors are dreaming of? This is why coin enthusiasts around the world spend hours inspecting their change. This is why collectors invest in magnifiers, coin albums, and grading services. Because when it comes to coins like the 1994 Jefferson Nickel, the tiniest detail can be worth thousands. Imagine finding a coin that appears ordinary, no shiny gold or silver, no precious metal, just a regular 5-cent coin, and discovering that it's a near-perfect mint state specimen with full steps. Now imagine further that it also features an unusual error like a double die reverse or an off-center strike. That coin is no longer just worth 5 cents. One collector recently discovered a 1994 Jefferson Nickel with exceptional luster, razor-sharp details, and flawless full steps. After professional grading, it earned a rare MS67 full steps designation, one of the highest grades for that year. And when it hit the auction block, collectors and dealers lined up to bid, and the final price, a jaw-dropping $50,000. That's right. A nickel worth just 5 cents to the average person sold for $50,000 because of its pristine condition, rare features, and collectible appeal. So the question is, do you have one? Don't wait. Start checking your change. Examine every Jefferson nickel you come across, especially the ones from 1994. Look for sharp details, smooth fields, and perfect steps on Monticello. Look for anything unusual, missing pieces, doubling, odd shapes, or strange edges, because your next coin might not just be a piece of metal, it might be a hidden fortune. If you enjoyed this video and want more stories about coins that could change your life, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. We're uncovering the rarest coins, telling their stories, and helping you discover real value in your own collection. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that many people handle every day without realizing its real value. It's small, it's old, it's easy to overlook, but it could be your ticket to an unbelievable fortune. We're talking about the 1985 Jefferson Nickel, a coin that, under the right circumstances, has made collectors pay top dollar at auctions. Now, you might be wondering, how can a 5-cent coin from 1985 be worth so much? Well, get ready, because the answer is a blend of history, mystery, and numismatic beauty. Let's rewind time and go back to the mid-1980s, an era of big hair, neon clothes, booming technology, and unforgettable moments in American culture. While the world was being introduced to new inventions and global shifts, something seemingly ordinary was taking place in the U.S. Mint. The production of millions of Jefferson Nickels, the Jefferson Nickel, first introduced in 1938, features the third President of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, on the obverse. His stately home, Monticello, graces the reverse of the coin. Designed by artist Felix Schlag, this coin was meant to be a tribute to Jefferson's legacy, and over time, it became one of the most recognized coins in American currency. Fast forward to 1985, and the design had already been circulating for almost 5 decades. That year, the U.S. Mint struck Jefferson Nickels in 3 primary locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, with a D mint mark; and San Francisco, with an S mint mark for proof coins only. The coins struck in Philadelphia and Denver were produced for general circulation, the same coins we often find in our pocket change today. But not all 1985 nickels were created equal. Some of these coins, rare, exceptional ones, hold an astronomical value in today's market. And here's where things get truly interesting. what makes a 1985 Jefferson nickel valuable isn't just its age. It's a combination of condition, rarity, mint errors, and sometimes, even a little mint magic. Let's start with condition. Most coins that have been in circulation for decades are scratched, worn down, and covered in marks from being passed from hand to hand. But every once in a while, a coin escapes this fate. Maybe it was put away the moment it was minted. Maybe it was forgotten in a mint roll or tucked away in a coin collection for years. These coins are what collectors call mint state, coins that have not been circulated and still retain their original shine and sharp detail. Within mint state coins, there's something even more elite, the coveted full steps designation. On the reverse of the Jefferson nickel, Monticello has a staircase. In most nickels, those steps are blurry or partially worn due to weak striking. But in a full steps example, the lines of every step are completely visible and clearly defined. This sharpness reflects perfect striking from the die, and it's incredibly rare, especially for a coin from 1985. Now let's go deeper into the world of mint errors, the hidden gems of coin collecting. Errors occur when the minting process goes wrong. It could be something small, like doubling on the letters, or something dramatic, like a coin being struck off center. And these errors don't hurt the coin's value, they skyrocket it. Some known 1985 Jefferson nickel errors include double die errors, where parts of the design appear twice, slightly shifted. You might see two, "In God We Trust," or a doubled Monticello off-center strikes, where the coin wasn't perfectly aligned and ends up with a partial blank space on one side. Clipped planchets, where a piece of the coin's edge is missing due to a misfeed. Strikes on the wrong planchet, such as a nickel accidentally struck on a penny or foreign coin blank. Each of these errors is incredibly rare. But when combined with mint state condition and full steps, the coin becomes a superstar, the kind of coin collectors dream about. Let's take a moment to imagine, you're sorting through an old jar of coins your grandfather gave you. Among them, you see a nickel from 1985. It looks clean. You pick it up and take a closer look. You notice that the steps on Monticello are unusually sharp, every detail, every line, perfectly crisp. Intrigued, you grab a magnifying glass and look for more details. The coin sparkles. There's no sign of wear. You send it off for grading, and the results come back. MS67 full steps with a double die obverse. That coin is no longer just a nickel, that coin is a numismatic treasure. In recent years, collectors and investors have started paying closer attention to these once ignored coins. As more people dig into the world of coin collecting, demand for rare varieties has surged. Auction houses have begun listing Jefferson nickels, once considered common, at shockingly high prices, especially if they are in mint condition and feature rare errors. Why? Because these coins are getting harder and harder to find. The US Mint doesn't go back to fix or recreate them. What's out there is all that exists. And as collectors snap them up, the remaining examples become even more scarce. This is why checking your pocket change, old coin rolls, or family coin jars has never been more exciting. The chance of discovering a coin like the 1985 Jefferson nickel with a rare error or full steps may be slim, but the payoff is enormous. So here's the most important thing. Don't overlook the nickels. Don't toss them aside. Don't assume they're worthless just because they're small or common, because every coin has a story, and some stories end with a major payday. And that brings us to our final point. The jaw-dropping value. Point 1. Extraordinary 1985 Jefferson nickel, in pristine mint state condition, with full steps, and a dramatic mint error, recently went under the hammer at a major coin auction. The final bidding price, an unbelievable $60,000. That's right, $60,000 for a 5-cent coin. Now, ask yourself, do you have one? Have you checked every nickel in your collection? Have you looked closely at your coins from 1985? If not, start now. Because your next discovery could change your life. Today's spotlight is on one of the most underestimated coins in American history, the 1992 Jefferson nickel. It's not flashy, not golden, and not even that old, but if you find the right one, it could be worth a fortune. This isn't just a coin, it's a potential jackpot waiting to be discovered. Let's travel back to the early 90s to 1992 to be exact. It was a time of transformation across America. Bill Clinton was elected president, compact discs were replacing cassette tapes, and the internet was quietly working its way into households. Meanwhile, something seemingly ordinary was happening in the world of U.S. coinage. Millions of Jefferson nickels were being struck and sent out into circulation. Now, on the surface, the 1992 Jefferson nickel looked like just another coin. It carried the classic profile of Thomas Jefferson on the front, calm, wise, and stoic. On the reverse, the iconic Monticello, Jefferson's majestic Virginia estate. This design had already been in use for decades, unchanged since 1938. But something unusual was happening behind the scenes, something that would turn a few of these 1992 nickels into some of the most valuable 5-cent coins in modern history. Let's start with the basics. The mint mark. The 1992 Jefferson nickel was struck at several mint facilities: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D mint mark; San Francisco, S mint mark, only used for proofs. Each mint had its own distinct characteristics in the coins it produced. Most people never pay attention to where their coins come from, but collectors? Oh, they know that the tiniest letter on your coin can mean a difference of thousands of dollars. Now, here's where it gets fascinating. The true value of the 1992 Jefferson nickel lies not in how many were made, but in how few perfect ones remain. Most nickels were used in everyday transactions: buying soda, paying parking meters, being lost between couch cushions. They got scratched, dinged, tarnished, and worn out. But once in a while, a few escaped, untouched, flawless, and perfectly preserved, and it is these coins, those in mint state condition, especially graded MS66, MS67 or higher, that have become the holy grail for collectors. Let's talk about what makes one of these nickels truly special. First, mint condition. A mint condition Jefferson nickel is one that looks just as sharp and lustrous as the day it was struck. The shine, the clean surfaces, and most importantly, the fine details are all perfectly intact. Second, full steps. This might be the most famous term among nickel collectors. If you flip over your Jefferson nickel and look at Monticello, focus your eyes on the stairs. Can you see each individual step clearly and completely? If so, you found something rare. Coins with full, unbroken steps are known as full steps, FS, nickels, and their rarity pushes them into a totally different value category. Third, and this is where the real money is, mint errors. Mint errors are like accidents that happen during the striking process, but instead of ruining the coin, they make it extremely collectible. Think of it like a misprinted stamp or a rare sports card with an upside-down logo. The error turns the coin into something truly one of a kind. Now imagine combining mint state, full steps, and a dramatic mint error on a 1992 Jefferson nickel. That's not just a collectible. That's an investment piece, and for some, it's a once-in-a-lifetime find. Here are just a few of the error types that have been spotted in Jefferson nickels, including some from 1992, double die obverse, where Jefferson's portrait or the words like, "In God We Trust," appear slightly doubled off center strike. Part of the coin is missing or unstruck. Clipped planchet, where the edge of the coin has a clean bite taken out of it. Wrong planchet errors, a nickel accidentally struck on a dime or penny. Blank. Each of these makes your coin even more desirable, and can multiply its value dramatically. Now, let's imagine a scenario. You're going through an old box of coins, maybe one you inherited from a relative. Among the coins is a small nickel from 1992. At first glance, it looks like nothing special. But then you flip it over and notice something different. The steps on Monticello are crisp, perfectly struck. The shine is still there. Nowhere. You look closer and notice a strange doubling in the lettering. Your heart skips a beat. Could this be the one? You send it in for grading and the result comes back: MS67 full steps with a double die obverse. Congratulations, you're holding a coin that just changed your life, because even though the 1992 Jefferson nickel had a face value of just 5 cents, in this rare, pristine condition, one of these gems sold at a national coin auction for a staggering sum. That's right, a single 1992 Jefferson nickel, in perfect mint state condition, with full steps and a rare error, was sold for an unbelievable price of $62,000, yes, $62,000 for a nickel. And what's even more exciting? That coin could still be out there, sitting quietly in someone's change jar, tucked into a forgotten coin roll, or hidden in the back of your drawer. So don't ignore those small coins. Look closely. Study them. Because the next rare treasure could be hiding right under your nose. Today, we bring you an astonishing story about a coin that millions of people once used to buy candy, pay for parking, or toss into fountains, without ever realizing its hidden value. This is the incredible journey of the 1990 Jefferson Nickel 5 cents, a coin that proves the rarest treasures don't always shine the brightest. At first, now imagine this: you're going through an old piggy bank, or maybe checking the coins under your car seat. Suddenly, your fingers brush against a small, dull nickel. You almost toss it aside. After all, it's just 5 cents. But wait, the year reads 1990. The mint mark is there. And it looks different. Could this be one of those legendary rare coins worth thousands? Could this forgotten nickel actually be a valuable collectible that could change your life? Before we answer that, let's rewind the clock to the year 1990. It was the dawn of a new digital age. The World Wide Web was just beginning, cell phones were bulky and rare, and the Cold War had officially ended. But while the world was rapidly changing, some things remained constant, like the classic design of the Jefferson nickel. The 1990 Jefferson nickel features the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, a symbol of American ideals, strength, and independence. His gaze is firm, his face bold, a tribute to the third President of the United States. On the reverse, we see Monticello, Jefferson's stately home, with its neoclassical architecture and rich historical presence. This design had been in use since 1938, and yet, in 1990, something quite special occurred. Over 900 million nickels were minted in 1990, mostly at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. There were also a smaller number of proof coins made at the San Francisco Mint, typically reserved for collectors. So, what makes a 1990 Jefferson nickel so valuable, when it seems like there are millions of them out there? It's all in the details. First, let's talk about mint marks. The mint mark, that tiny little letter under the year, tells us where the coin was produced. No mint mark usually means Philadelphia. A D stands for Denver, and an S signifies San Francisco. But beyond just location, these marks are vital clues for coin collectors, because the quality, rarity, and even the striking process varies from mint to mint. Now let's dive deeper into what truly makes the 1990 Jefferson nickel an object of obsession for serious collectors. Number 1. Mint state condition. A coin in mint state, graded by professionals on a scale from MS60 to MS70, is one that has never been used in circulation. It looks the same as the moment it was struck, shiny, crisp, and full of fine detail. Most coins are damaged or worn within days of entering circulation. Finding a 1990 Jefferson nickel in this perfect state? That's already a rare accomplishment. Number 2, full steps. This is where things get exciting. If you flip the coin and look at Monticello, pay attention to the stairs. If you can clearly see 5 or 6 distinct steps, unbroken and sharply struck, your coin qualifies as a full steps, FS, nickel. Why is this so rare? Because striking coins with such fine detail, especially in the steps of Monticello, requires perfectly aligned dies and perfect pressure. Even tiny inconsistencies during minting can blur or flatten these steps. So a 1990 Jefferson nickel with full steps is not just rare, it's a miracle of minting precision. Number 3, mint errors and varieties. In the world of numismatics, mistakes are worth money. That's right, coins with flaws are sometimes more valuable than perfect ones. Why? Because they're unique. A few rare 1990 Jefferson nickels have been discovered with double die errors, where the lettering or images appear doubled off center strikes, where part of the design is missing clipped planchets. A coin that looks like a bite was taken out of it. Wrong planchet strikes, such as a nickel struck on a penny blank or even a foreign coin blank. Collectors pay a premium for these oddities, because they're one of a kind. And in the world of collectibles, scarcity equals value. But here's the key: condition plus rarity equals treasure. So, imagine you've got a 1990 Jefferson nickel with the Denver mint mark. It's been sitting in a folder or a roll for decades, untouched. You take a closer look. The coin gleams. The steps on Monticello are crisp and unbroken. Then you notice something even more unusual: a slight doubling in the text or a strange edge. That's when you realize you might be holding a jackpot. you decide to send the coin into a professional grading service. Weeks later, the results come back, MS67 full steps with a mint error. Suddenly, your common-looking nickel becomes a collector's dream, because one such coin, a 1990 Jefferson nickel with all those features, was recently sold at a major auction, not for $10, not for $100, not even for $1,000. That it sold for a jaw-dropping $64,000. Yes, $64,000 for a 5-cent coin that most people would walk past on the sidewalk without noticing. Now think about this: how many more of these hidden gems are still out there? In jars, in drawers, in old lunch boxes, or under couch cushions, the world is full of overlooked coins, and one of them might be in your pocket right now. So before you spend that nickel on a soda or toss it into the tip jar, take a closer look. Look at the date. Look at the mint mark. Look at the steps on Monticello, because your next great discovery could be waiting for you in the most unexpected place. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey into the secret world of valuable coins. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1990 Jefferson Nickel, make sure to like, subscribe, and tap that notification bell, because we're just getting started. Every coin has a story, and some of them, like this one, are worth a fortune. Keep hunting, and never underestimate a nickel.